Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, my name is Saunch, your host, and today we have some interesting topics I want to talk about. Let's do an overview, and then we'll get right into today's video. We're going to be talking about Hunter Labrada, Terrence Ruffin, Michael Krizo with the IFBB Elite Pro. We're going to be talking about Nathan Epler announcing that he's going to be doing the Open, or at least he's announced it previously, but somehow everyone missed it. We're also going to be talking about Ross Flanagan, and we're also going to be talking about Keon Pearson and Chris Bumstead. So if you're interested in those topics, definitely stay tuned, but let's go ahead and get into the video. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, welcome back to another episode of the Bodybuilding News Network. Today we have an episode of Bodybuilding Today where we talk about some of the hot topics in the IFBB and NPC. And first off, let's go ahead and talk about a recent photo collage, if you will, that Hunter Labrada has recently posted talking about the transformation. You know, we talked about Ian Valliere and his back transformation over the last year, but now Hunter Labrada kind of picking up the cue here as well and sharing some physique updates from a comparison of July 25th, 2021 and March 23rd, 2022, approximately one day out from the Chicago Pro versus his current off season. And no disrespect to Hunter Labrada, but I think it's very similar, very comparable, what Hunter is holding on to right now in terms of conditioning and mass, and also what he was looking like one day out from the Chicago Pro. Now, if that speaks to what Hunter and his team's goal is this offseason of keeping it lean, keeping everything tight and controlled, the small midsection, but then also trying to improve with small improvements in some of the areas that he might need to improve upon. I'm not too sure what the strategy is for Hunter Labrada after that amazing top 4 finish at the Olympia. It's neither here nor there, my thought on it, but it is very impressive for this young guy to be landing into the top 4 on one of his very few first Mr. Olympia competitions. So he definitely needs to have a very solid plan coming into this Olympia season, this 2022 Olympia season, to hold on to that top 4 finish or potentially even improve. I will say that my thought here is there's a lot of gentlemen coming into this show, into the Olympia, that weren't there last year, and also people that weren't there in their best shape last year. And I also think that there are some people that got overlooked. I don't see how Nick Walker fell outside the top 4, but that's neither here nor there. So we appreciate, as media and as fans, we all appreciate Hunter Labrada sharing these phenomenal physique updates and gym session videos. But best of luck to Hunter Labrada on his prep to the Mr. O. Another athlete that we will see at the Mr. Olympia in classic physique is Terrence Ruffin, or AKA Ruff Diesel, on Instagram. Now, Terrence has been sharing some phenomenal, amazing physique updates just outside of his Arnold Classic victory. From what I understand, he's going to take the rest of the season off and prep for the Mr. Olympia. If you do not know, Terrence Ruffin is the 2-time second place runner-up at the Mr. Olympia in the men's classic physique division. So he is going to be one of the top favorites to challenge the reigning classic physique Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead. From what I understand, it looks like Terrence is going to take the time off, do a small little rebound and enjoy a small off season before he prepares for this December Olympia as it returns to Las Vegas. So we always appreciate the physique updates from Terrence. The videos, the collages he puts together are world class, and it is purely an art form. Now, a gentleman that I think gets more critique than praises is IFBB Elite Pro and multiple-time Elite Pro Arnold Classic champion, or the Arnold Europe Classic champion, is Michael Krizo. I believe that's how you say it, Krizo. But anywho, he's been sharing lots of physique updates. And, you know, when I look at this guy, I always think that he could be a very competitive men's open bodybuilder. I know Fernando Arroyo over on Instagram does a lot of great collages and side-by-sides. Same with Mark's Max Muscle. He does a lot of phenomenal side-by-side comparisons of the two of his different placings and conditionings and things of that nature. I think he would be a phenomenal IFBB pro competitor. I just don't know if he's ever going to make the switch. There's got to be, and this is just my opinion, and please let me know if you think I'm way off in the comment sections below, but there's got to be some incentive for him to stay in the Elite Pro. Is he getting paid more? Does he have some like crazy sponsorships? Or does he really think that he isn't competitive against the open IFBB pros? There has been plenty of conversations of Mr. Krizo here, Michael, kind of having some friendly banter with some of the top pros, saying that, you know, he would crush them in any competition. And I think it would be very fun and entertaining to see Michael Krizo step on an IFBB pro stage, not an Elite Pro, but an actual IFBB pro stage. I know a lot of people would like to see that. A lot of fans would enjoy seeing that. And hopefully that's something we get to see in the near future. So hopefully that's something we get to see. Now, moving into some hostile supplements news, Nathan Epler, one of their elite athletes or their signed athletes, has at least at one point announced that he was going to be doing the Men's Open this year. If you don't remember, he placed top 5, which was phenomenal after his pro debut, winning the New York Pro last year, winning his pro card, getting, winning the New York Pro, which is a massive title, and then rolling into, I believe it's his first Olympia, especially in the in the 212, in placing top 5. So I think it's very interesting for him to immediately switch into the Men's Open division. But, he has the hype, he has the momentum, he has the fan base to support him moving into Men's Open. I would have liked to see him stay in the 212 just a little longer and just kind of keep building on that reputation, the consistency, the conditioning that he brings to these shows. I thought he looked amazing in the New York Pro. I thought he looked phenomenal in the Mr. Olympia. I just wish we could see a little bit more of him before making such a massive decision as switching into the Men's Open. But of course, congratulations and best of luck to Nathan Epler. I'm assuming he's going to roll right into the Olympia in the Men's Open for his Open debut. Now, a gentleman that I don't think many people are talking about is Ross Flanagan. Now, this guy, really cool gentleman. He was on the Fuad Abiad podcast talking about business and things, business and things of that nature. But he is also the owner of, I believe it's called Flavor Gang. Now, Flavor Gang has a wide variety of really cool supplements, or not supplements, but sauces, different sauces, things like sweet poppy sauce, flavored Dawn sauce. They have the signature butcher sauce for Brett Wilkin. And they also have the mutant sauce, which is Nick Walker's signature sauce. So they have a lot of really cool sauces that, I haven't tried any, but I know that our good friend and frequent co-host here on the Bodybuilding News Network, Ty Jordan, Ty_Jordan_bodybuilding on Instagram, has vouched for it and has told me several times to order. So I definitely will be getting in contact with Mr. Ross Flanagan to try out his amazing sauces and seeing what we can work out in the future for promoting it. I'd love to do something besides, I've been doing Kinder sugar-free sauces for a while, but hey, the thing that we always talk about here on BNN is advocating for the athletes and promoting bodybuilding. So if that's something I can do by purchasing sauces at a competitive price, as long as everything's kosher and dandy there with the pricing, hey, always support bodybuilders if it's something that you can financially afford. But that will be big congratulations with Ross and his business success. I know that from what I've heard, he's prepping for the Indy Pro. So I've also heard that this is going to be his debut. So hopefully we get to see him just under 5 weeks out from this year's Indy Pro. Make sure you stay tuned to BNN for all the coverage on the Indy Pro. Moving into another men switching into a different division. We talked about Nathan Epler switching from 212 to open, and then maybe Michael Crizo switching from the Elite Pro to the men's open bodybuilding in the IFBB Pro. Now we're going to talk about Keon Pearson. Keon Pearson, a classic competitor, went to 212, did really well at the Chicago Pro, went into his first Olympia in the 212, kind of wet the bed, no disrespect. I don't mean it to be disrespectful, Mr. Keon. And then immediately just decided to go back to classic. I didn't like that decision. I think that he could have been a future 212 Olympian champion with just his structure, his flow, the muscle insertions, the conditioning, the symmetry, the posing. I mean, all those good words you want to hear when someone's talking about you. Keon has that. He just didn't come in as sharp and conditioned as we wish he would have at the Olympia. And, you know, for one reason or the other, maybe health, maybe family, maybe life, or maybe just, you know, not showing up the way he wanted to, he decided to go back to classic. We reported on that a few times now. Recently, Keon has posted some phenomenal physique updates as he's prepping to come back into men's classic physique. As I know now, please let me know in the comment sections below, but he has not announced a show that he will be doing in classic physique coming up, but it does look like he is not too far away from contest shape. You know, maybe drop 10, 15 pounds and gosh darn it, he's there. Or if he wants to stay in 212 and surprise us with another 212 showing, I think he could do that as well. But you know, time will tell as we look forward to seeing Keon step on stage in the 2022 competitive calendar. Last but certainly not least, but Chris Bumstead recently posted some amazing leg training, and I thought it was phenomenal to see someone of his caliber, and then also in classic physique, still moving big weight. I think that there's always been kind of a negative connotation of people outside of open and 212 that they don't train hard, that they don't train heavy. And in my opinion, you don't build legs with the separation and the conditioning and even maturity that Chris Bumstead has in his legs and especially his quads unless you're training heavy and squatting heavy. Now, he is using a Smith rack, and some people still like to use that as some sort of like dogma negative talking point. I don't think there's any validity to that at all. I think people have built amazing physiques, even people like 7-time Mr. Olympia Phil Heath is infamous for using hammer strength machines. So nothing against the Smith squat here. I actually enjoy it as well, but I just haven't trained well enough to be able to move that kind of weight. And he also talked about using this split squat here. I loved how he was using 2 dumbbells. That's definitely something I'm going to try out the next time I have leg day, is instead of using one leg and then holding myself and kind of bracing off something, I'm going to try using the 2-legger or the 2-hander, dumbbell in each hand. I think that'd be an interesting challenge. But Chris Bumstead going for the 4-peat Classic Physique Olympia champion. I expect him to win another year. I don't see anyone that's going to be pushing him this year. Maybe next year if the Dino guy can put on a little bit more muscle, or if Mr. Kalzinski from Germany, the Miracle Bear, if he can put on a little bit more muscle and just balance out his physique to catch up with the legs and the lats, I think he could also be a very solid contender. But that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. Today's Bodybuilding Today episode. Stay tuned for this weekend. We'll be doing some coverage once I get some free time. We'll go in depth of some of the pro shows that happened recently and some of the NPC shows that have happened this week. So stay tuned for my staple contest coverage here on BNN. As always, I'm your host, Saunch. If you enjoyed this style of content, consider subscribing. Check out the athlete links in the description of the video, and also check out my links if you're interested in supporting me outside of just liking, commenting, and subscribing. Continue the conversation in the comment sections below. My name's Saunch, and I'll see you guys in the next one.